Welcome back to the channel. We got a fun article here. 40 best country singers of all time ranked. Some of the best entertainers of all time hail from the country genre. There are honky-tonk heroes, bluegrass belters, and rhythmic rockers. There are banjos, guitars, fiddles, and harmonicas. Country music can be a breath of fresh air, an escape to another world, or a righteous anthem. On this list, we celebrate the 40 best country singers of all time. At number 40 on the list is Tim McGrath. Many contemporary country music fans first heard of the country crooner Tim McGrath from Taylor Swift in her debut single named after the artist. However, a Louisiana-born Tim McGrath has been topping charts since 1994 with his hit single It's Your Love. Since then, McGrath has released 15 studio albums, 10 of which have hit the #1 spot on the top country albums chart. McGrath is a versatile country artist and collaborated with rapper and singer Nelly for 2004 hit Over and Over. At number 39 on the list is John Denver. John Denver is a polarizing country singer, with many finding him just too peppy and pleasant to tolerate. Denver has numerous iconic tunes, including Take Me Home Country Roads, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and Rocky Mountain High. John Denver was one of the most popular acoustic artists of the 70s and performed mainly with his acoustic guitar and a big smile. He has over 300 songs and composed around 200 of those himself. Tragically, Denver passed away age 53 while piloting his own plane. At number 38 on the list is Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood is a country artist that came to prominence on the popular talent show American Idol in 2005. Underwood's first single, Inside Your Heaven, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, which is the first time a country single had done so. Underwood has had some massive crossover hits, including Jesus Take the Wheel and single girl anthem Before He Cheats. Underwood hails from Oklahoma and is a 7-time Grammy Award winner. Rolling Stone called her the female vocalist of her generation of any genre. At number 37 on the list is Brad Paisley. Born and raised in West Virginia, country star Brad Paisley has been making waves in the country music world since 1999 and his debut album, Who Needs Pictures. Since then, not only has Paisley released tons of studio albums, but he's also brought home 3 Grammy Awards, 14 Academy of Country Music Awards, 14 Country Music Association Awards, and 2 American Music Awards. Now 49 years old, Paisley shows no sign of slowing down his music career anytime soon. At number 36 on the list is Leanne Rimes. A Mississippi native, singer-songwriter, and actress, Leanne Rimes rose to stardom at the age of 13, becoming the youngest country music star since Tanya Tucker in 1972. Since her time in the spotlight, the blonde-haired beauty has won several awards, including 2 Grammys, 3 AMCs, a CMA, 12 Billboard Music Awards, and an American Music Award. Considering the number of awards that Rimes has racked up over the years, we think it's safe to say that the 38-year-old exudes pure natural talent. At number 35 on the list is Kenny Chesney. Hailing all the way from Tennessee, singer-songwriter and record producer Kenny Chesney is one of the most successful crossover country artists. In fact, he happens to be one of the most popular touring acts in country music, regular selling out venues. Aside from the fact that he has recorded over 20 albums and sold 30 million albums worldwide thus far, Chesney is a multi-award winner. Not only has he brought home 6 Academy of Country Music Awards, but he's also received 9 awards from the Country Music Association. At number 34 on the list is Winona Jud. Let's be real here, the Judds are no strangers to the spotlight. Between Ashley, Winona, and Naomi, while Ashley pursued a career in acting, Winona the Naomi rose to fame during the 80s with their country music duo, the Judds. During their time together, they released 7 albums in addition to 26 singles, of which 14 were #1 hits. Once the Judds disbanded in 1991, Winona naturally began a solo career. The She Is His Only Need singer has gone on to receive tons of awards for her undeniable talent. At number 33 on the list is Trisha Yearwood. Trisha Yearwood is a multi-award-winning country recording artist, actress, author, television personality, and celebrity chef. After rising to fame with her 1991 debut single, She's in Love with the Boy, Yearwood has gone on to make quite a name for herself, earning awards and nominations along the way. But although Yearwood continued releasing a series of major country hits, at some point she decided to go on a hiatus from her own musical career to focus on other projects. Not only has she published 3 successful cookbooks, but she even began a culinary series on the Food Network in 2012. At number 32 on the list is Keith Urban. Born in New Zealand and raised in Australia, Keith Urban is a singer, songwriter, and producer. In 1991, at the age of 24, Urban released a self-titled debut album before heading off to the United States a year later. It wasn't until 1999 that Urban made his solo American debut with a second album. Since then, the Wasted Time singer has released several more albums and grabbed up tons of awards. With an impressive career like that, plus a beautiful wife like Nicole Kidman, it's safe to say that Urban is living his best life. At number 31 on the list is Lorie Morgan. Born in 1959, country music singer Lorie Morgan has been singing since the age of 13 and charted her first single when she was just 20 years old. Aside from being known for her career, though, Morgan is also the daughter of George Morgan, widow of Keith Whitley, and ex-wife of John Randall and Sammy Kershaw, all of whom are also country music singers. The country star has recorded in collaboration with those men as well as Frank Sinatra, Johnny Mathis, Tammy Wynette, Dolly Parton, Andy Williams, the New World Philharmonic, and Pam Tillis. At number 30 on the list is Conway Twitty. Country music has influences from many musical genres, and Conway Twitty embodied the world of rockabilly. His 1958 song, It's Only Make Believe, was an Elvis-inspired tune that many fans believed was actually Presley singing. When Twitty pivoted from rock and roll to country, many radio stations wouldn't play his songs. However, Twitty's 1970 song Hello Darlin' stayed at the top of the country charts for 4 weeks. The star also released several duets with fellow country music star Loretta Lynn. At number 29 on the list is Deanna Carter. Now 54 years old, Deanna Carter is an American country music singer-songwriter. Born in Nashville, Tennessee, Carter rose to prominence in 1996 with the release of her debut album, Did I Shave My Legs for This? No more than 2 years later, the country bombshell came out with another hit album called Everything's Gonna Be Alright. That was followed by 2003's I'm Just a Girl, 2005's The Story of My Life, and 2007's The Chain. From the sounds of it, Carter likes to stay busy, so it comes as no surprise that in 2013, she decided to form her own record label, Little Nugget Records. At number 28 on the list is Garth Brooks. Lots of country singers push the boundaries for what a country artist should be. One of those innovators is Garth Brooks, who managed to make himself a huge fan base with his crossover country music career. In fact, Brooks is the only artist in music history to have 9 diamond status albums in the USA, taking over from the Beatles' former record. Brooks is a best-selling artist and records with the same studio band each time, the G-Men. At number 27 on the list is Sara Evans. Brown-eyed beauty Sara Evans is an American country music singer-songwriter. Since her start in the music industry back in 1997, Evans has put out 10 studio albums, with her latest, Copy That, having been released in 2020. Throughout the years, the Born to Fly singer has collaborated with several musicians including the Warren Brothers, Vince Gill, McBride, Mindy McCready, Lorie Morgan, Phil Vassar, and Pat Green, among others. Now 49 years old, Evans has had quite a fruitful career, earning numerous awards along the way. At number 26 on the list is Reba McIntyre. Country singer Reba McIntyre was one of the first female country artists to be able to compete with male artists in terms of album and tour sales. The Oklahoma-born entertainer has released 29 studio albums, 28 of which have been certified gold, platinum, or multi-platinum. During her hugely successful country music career, Reba McIntyre and her former husband, Narvel Blackstock, founded Starstruck Entertainment. The company controlled all aspects of McIntyre's career and expanded to include horse farms, publishing, and construction. At number 25 on the list is Blake Shelton. Whether or not you're a country music fan, there's no doubt that you know who Blake Shelton is. An Oklahoma native, Shelton is a singer and television personality who made his debut in 2001 with the single Austin. From then now, the hunk has made quite a name for himself, charting 40 singles including 27 number ones, and getting nominated for a Grammy Award a whopping 9 times. Shelton is also known for his role as a judge on several televised singing competitions, including NBC's The Voice. At number 24 on the list is Lefty Friselle. Let's go back in time a little to the early 1950s. Texan honky-tonk singer Lefty Friselle released his debut track, If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time, and became a country star. Friselle was known for his optimistic sound, which was in opposition to fellow country star Hank Williams, who tended to sing of misery and hopelessness. Friselle passed away at only 47 years old, but he inspired generations of country singers to come, including Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, and George Jones. At number 23 on the list is Allison Krauss. Technically, singer Allison Krauss is a bluegrass and traditional country singer. Throughout her career, Krauss has popularized bluegrass music and helped renew interest in the genre. For her efforts, Krauss has won an astonishing 27 Grammy Awards, making her the most awarded singer and female artist in Grammy history. Allison Krauss's music was featured on Oh Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack. The singer also collaborated with Led Zeppelin lead singer Robert Plant for the album Raising Sand in 2007. Naturally, it won 5 Grammy Awards. At number 22 on the list is Whan Jennings. Whan Jennings was a reluctant country star and one of the founders of the outlaw movement. This subgenre of country came to prominence in the 1970s and 1980s and combined honky-tonk derived country with rock and roll. Texas-born Jennings wore mainly black, pushing against the rhinestone conventions of Nashville at the time. Eventually, Jennings joined the country group The Highwaymen, along with fellow country stars Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson. Jennings' son Shooter went on to become a successful country artist. At number 21 on the list is Bobby Bare. Country singer and songwriter Bobby Bare was a progressive country artist throughout the 1960s and 1970s. Just before Bare was drafted into the U.S. military in the 1950s, he wrote and recorded a demo for a song called American Boy. The song was supposed to be for someone else, but the record company released Bare's original version. His single, Shame on Me, was one of the first country singles to use a horn section and made 2 duet albums with fellow country singer Skeeter Davis. Alright, we're 20 artists into the best 40 country singers of all time ranked. If you haven't seen your favorite artist show up yet, tune in for part 2 coming to the channel soon.